5 Ways Successful People Take Control of Their Life by Mick Uglija. I don't know how you pronounce that name, but it's a great piece. Some of the most important things in life are accomplished when we have a sense of emergency and a sense of urgency. And some of the greatest stresses we endure are experienced when we are bombarded and ambushed by the emergencies of life. What's the difference? It's a locus of control. Are the stresses coming from outside ourselves, or are they coming from within? So here's 5 ways successful people take control of their lives. Best-selling author and leadership expert John Kotter suggests that too many workers, including executives, do not have a sense of urgency about their work. This is seen up and down the corporate ladder. This does not mean that workers should be running around with their hair on fire. It does mean that these workers are focused on what's important. They understand that they live in a world where change is continuous and not episodic. They know that the company cannot rest on its laurels even as they celebrate victories. This cannot happen without creating a sense of urgency. How does this parallel our daily lives when it comes to urgencies? There are 2 kinds of people in the world. One group is a victim of urgency, and the other group is a victor in urgency. One person doesn't create an inner sense of urgency. They opt to wait for life to become urgent, and then they react to it. Yet that kind of urgency brings its companions: stress, anxiety, self-pity, self-preoccupation, and sometimes for good measure, this kicks in the reactions of rush and panic in an attempt to salvage lost time. Rarely do these folks achieve their goals, if there were any. The other person doesn't wait for the urgent. They create that sense of urgency in themselves. I hope this is you. Their urgency is not as stressful as it is motivational. It creates drive rather than panic. They are driven to accomplish what's before them today. They understand that this day has never been here before and it will never come again. One group is a victim of urgency. The other group is a victor in urgency. What's the key? Location, location, location. Is it inner or external locus of control? Successful people refuse to give their power away. Here are 5 things they do to take control of their lives. 1, successful people create a sense of urgency in themselves. They get up each day with that urgent feeling in their gut. They don't create anxiety, but they do create urgency. I think one thing, I talk about this all the time, it's worth repeating because I think most people don't do it, but when I started doing this, my career just took off like crazy. I never went to bed without having a plan for every single hour of the following day, from 8 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, till I stopped. Sometimes I went past 10, sometimes I went to 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, but I had a plan. I didn't just get up, and I got up with a sense of urgency to complete that plan every single day. And of course, everything doesn't go perfectly every day, but if something doesn't happen today, then you move it to the next day. But the bottom line is I had a plan. I wasn't wasting any time. I wasn't letting life. I wasn't reacting to life. I was being the creator of the life as opposed to waiting for things to happen. I think that's one of the most important things. If you're really serious about being successful, you learn to do that. You're disciplined in doing that, and I guarantee you will see tremendous results over time. 2, successful people don't confuse activity with accomplishment. I see so many people just being busy, 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 but they're not really focused on getting a result, or their closing ability prevents them from getting a result. Got to learn how to close. They understand that business or busyness can numb us to complacency, allowing one day to flow into the next with no real desired outcomes. Let's call it intentional urgency. Number 3, successful people don't let emergencies derail them. I see most people, every time something happens, they get all distracted. I have a saying that distraction leads to your economic destruction. It's kind of like if you're going on a trip somewhere, and imagine you're going from California to New York on the highway system, and you get off at every exit, which is a distraction, right? Number 1, it's going to take you forever to get where you're trying to go if you ever get there. So every time you get off a freeway on your way to some place, it's a distraction, and you got to learn not to allow it to derail you. Do not do that. So their successes, right, is fueled by the urgency of the day, not the emergency du jour. When those inevitable emergencies arrive, it doesn't derail them. They handle them as best they can and continue down the track, down the freeway, if you will. Outward circumstances are less compelling and urgent. An outer locus of control with its plethora of issues overwhelms us. We don't need to find them. They find us, that's for sure. The urgencies they face are the ones they create. Even when they go fast, they are not out of control. They don't rush. Rushing creates emergencies. My hero said, John Wooden, be quick, but not in a hurry. Number 4, successful people know what's important. Knowing what's important to you creates clarity. That, in turn, reduces stress. That's why writing down your goals for each hour, you know what you're doing, right? You're clear about what you're trying to do, so you're less stressful. When you go to bed at night, you don't have to worry about, well, who do I have to call? What do I have to do? It's all written down. You just get up, you look at your plan, which is your daily calendar, hour by hour, and you just go to work. No stress. This helps rid them of needless clutter that will slow them down. They understand that everything is not an option, so they focus on the priority thing. Which is the thing, the urgent thing, the priority thing that's going to allow you to get the best results possible in your chosen field. There is never enough time to do everything, but there's always enough time to do the important thing. Like in my business, I'm in the sales business and recruiting business. Prospecting is the most urgent thing to do. That's the thing I never let go. I always did that. I prospected every day. I made sure I was filling my pipeline all the time. Number 5, successful people listen to the right voices. They listen to the right voices. Seth Godin warns about the trolls in our head. Beware of them. They love to instill a sense of panic. Be vigilant. The troll is the voice of insecurity and self-criticism. Don't feed the troll. That supplies it with more excuses. Don't argue with it. That just takes up your time. Don't attempt to litigate it. Your inner troll is an expert at swaying the jury. You create your own urgency, and don't let your inner troll derail those good intentions. Work on your thinking. Practice simple habits will assist you in avoiding serious hazards by creating your own urgencies, and you will discover newfound power in your life. Take control. Get that little crazy troll in your head out. Focus on what you need to do. Have a plan every day when you get up in the morning so you can hit the ground running.